snakes, a groundhog, and even a dinosaur. Oh my! We've journeyed across the water to the Staten Island Zoo. I'm the NYC Traveler. Welcome to the Staten Island Zoo. Small in size but huge in resources, exhibits and activities, particularly for children. Start at the gate and make a decision whether to go straight to the exhibits or straight to the petting zoo. We decided to leave the petting zoo for last. Although it is a New York City zoo, the Staten Island Zoo is not part of the Wildlife Conservation Society, so your membership won't be valid here. Built on the grounds of a former estate of a Spanish-American war colonel, it has been managed by the Staten Island Zoological Society since approximately 1933. The zoo is accredited by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. Like many small zoos, some of the animals are in fenced-in areas, rather than the large park-like settings of the larger conservation societies that you may be used to. This is probably because, although the zoo is rather small, it is still able to offer so many species of animals. But the zoo takes good care of the animals and might have even played an important part in environmental history. The zoo was probably instrumental in helping to get leaded gasoline banned in the United States. In 1971, several animals died from what was determined to be lead poisoning, and one black leopard suffered extensive nerve damage. After much investigation and research of the animals and the zoo property, not only was lead found in the paints, which was common back in that day, but also in the maintenance materials and also high in the atmosphere, probably from the exhaust from the cars. The zoo reported its findings and therefore became an important part of history. We started with Africa, with the desert, the rainforest, and the savanna, and all its delights. What might look like junk or unnatural objects that are in there for the animals was explained as animal enrichment. One of my favorite parts is the aquarium, and that's because I like to snorkel. Back on land, we caught up with some interesting looking creatures. The mustache of the Emperor Tamarin was incredible. And what we thought was part of the cat family actually was not. After leaving the continent of Africa, it was time to head outdoors. The Staten Island Zoo is famous for its haul of reptiles. There are too many to show here, and we did get as many as we can, and we promise you it's going to be another video. often said you could make the Hall of Reptiles the only spot that you visit, but it's time to go and see what else the zoo has to offer. The otters can be seen in two locations, from one side and through the otter tunnel, where you can try to hold your breath as long as the otters can underwater. If you plan on visiting the children's zoo, make sure you bring change so that you can bring food to feed to the animals. Only use the food that they provide. If you're lucky, you might catch a glimpse of the zoo's superstar, Staten Island Chuck. On Groundhog Day, the eyes of the city are focused on Staten Island as Chuck gives us out predictions for the length of the winter. Many people are surprised to see that a farm can exist in the city of New York, right here on Staten Island. We enjoyed the farm part of the zoo, although they had some animals that I'm not quite certain on everybody's farm. Since we didn't have any kids with us this time around, we skipped the kids' corral, which gives a one-on-one experience with the children and the animals. It turns out we had our own up-and-close and personal experience with the animals. This pony was ready for his close-up. The zoo has amenities, a picnic area, a cafe, a gift shop, and a carousel. The hit of the zoo is the extensive reptile house, and the surprise was a very nice children's area. So, our advice? Yes, the NYC Traveler definitely recommends that you go ahead and visit the Staten Island Zoo. You'll find some great snakes. It's perfect for a family. It's small enough that you can go to another spot on Staten Island, making it a perfect day trip from one of the 5 boroughs. If you take the Staten Island Ferry over, we recommend that you just take a car service to the zoo. In New Jersey, folks, it's perfect. Great location near you. I'm the NYC Traveler, and we've been at the Staten Island Zoo.